It's 6 p.m. Cairo local time, and it's time for the English News Bulletin on Channel 2, starting with the headlines of the day, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of President Sisi, Prime Minister Madbouli inaugurates the 6th round of the Conference of Exhibition on Smarter Transportation, Logistics and Industry. Voting of the House of Representatives elections begins tomorrow in Egypt. And Palestinian health officials says more than 69,000 Palestinians martyred in the Israeli occupation unprecedented war on Gaza. Welcome back to the news in full detail. On behalf of President Sisi, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli inaugurated the 6th round of the conference and exhibition on smarter transportation, logistics and industry, dubbed Transmia. The 3-day event is held under the theme motto of industry and transportation together to achieve the sustainable development. Details in the coming report.
On behalf of President Abdel-Fattah el-Sisi, Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli inaugurated the 6th round of the conference and exhibition on smart transportation, logistics and industry, dubbed Transmea. The 3-day event is held under the theme motto of industry and transportation, together to achieve sustainable development. Organizers said local and international companies from 30 countries are taking part in Transmea, reflecting its position as a regional platform to exhibiting the latest technologies and industrial solutions and smart transportation products. Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development and Minister of Industry and Transportation attended the inauguration, as well as the Minister of Planning, Economic Development and International Cooperation, Rania Al-Mashat, and a number of ministers and senior officials. Organizers said the conference is being held at a very important time when the state is witnessing an unprecedented renaissance to tech fields of local industrialization and founding transportation infrastructure. They said industry has become a pivotal axis to boost growth rates, expand local industrialization, achieve self-sufficiency and upgrade Egyptian exports' competitiveness. They also said the transportation system with all its sectors ranging from the sustainable, environmentally friendly green transportation to railways, roads, bridges, sea and land ports, logistic zones and river transportation all back this renaissance and contribute to facilitating trade and investment. They said that the event aims to highlight opportunities, initiatives, partnerships and plans, as well as strategies to boost exports and review latest technologies to improve the quality of products and incentivize local components. They said it also aims to link producers of end products and provide agricultural lands and utilizing them, and linking logistical zones to ease export operations through the launch of the Egypt Digital Industrial Platform. The platform is set to facilitate allocation of lands and industrial units across all governorates.
And the head of the Executive Committee of the National Election Authority, Councillor Ahmed Binderi, to announce the preparations for the first phase of the 2025 House of Representatives elections. He said that the authority will be closely following up the electoral process to ensure a smooth and transparent voting for Egyptians during the November 10th and 11th voting in the first phase of the parliamentary elections. Egyptians will cast their ballots on Monday and Tuesday in the first phase of the 2025 House of Representatives elections. Polling stations across 14 governorates will open at 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on both days. The first phase of the parliamentary elections includes the governorates of Giza, Fayoum, Bani Suef, Minya, Asyut, New Valley, Sohag, Qina, Luxor, Aswan, the Red Sea, Alexandria, Al Bahira and Matruh. And the elections will be held under the full judiciary monitoring, and all the polling stations will be under the security of the supervision. Final results are expected to be announced on the 18th of November. The start of the domestic voting follows the conclusion of overseas balloting in the parliamentary elections first phase, which took place over 2 days in 117 countries in Egyptian embassies and consulates and official polling centers. And the National Media Authorities Committee for the Monitoring of the Parliamentary Elections is starting its activities. The first meeting of the committee was held with the attendance of a number of expert academics and the media personnel. And it gave the recommendations for commitment to the professional standards during the coverage of the elections. And it is also followed on the election process for Egyptians abroad. And the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Immigration and Expatriates, Badr Abdelati, affirms Egypt's appreciation to the long-standing ties with the global South countries, including Latin, Central America and the Caribbean. He praised the Latin American countries' their support for the Arab rights and causes, topping of which is the Palestinian questions. And this came during the Foreign Minister meeting with the ambassadors of Latin, Central American and the Caribbean accredited to Cairo. And the Foreign Minister stressed Egypt's keenness to promote economic trade and investment cooperation, as well as finding new markets for Egyptian products in the Latin American markets. And in the meantime, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Badr Abdelati, conducted a phone call with his Nigerian counterpart, Yusuf Tugar, to discuss ways to strengthen the bilateral relations and exchange views on regional and issues of the mutual concern. The Foreign Minister stressed the deep-rooted historic ties between Egypt and Nigeria, as well as the growing momentum in cooperation in the political, economic and developmental fields. Both ministers reviewed recent developments in Africa, underscoring the need to strengthen joint African action amid rising political, of humanitarian and cross-border challenges. They affirmed the importance of continuing consultation and coordination with the African Union to meet the interests of African people and to promote the regional and peace and stability. In the meantime, Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati held a phone call with the Prime Minister of the Minister of Affairs of Qatar, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdurrahman bin Al-Jassim Al-Thani. The call tackled the latest development in the Gaza Strip, as well as the continued field coordination and ongoing consultation between Egypt and Doha in support of efforts to stem the ceasefire. Both ministers agreed on the constant of the Egyptian-Qatari stances. They reaffirmed the necessity of linking West Bank and the Gaza Strip to ensure the unity of the Palestinian territories. The call also reviewed the ongoing consultations in New York regarding the deployment of international stabilization forces. Regarding the situation in Sudan, both ministers asserted Egypt's support for the unity and stability of Sudan and its national institutions. They also firmly condemned the atrocities that the city of Al-Fasher witnessed recently. And to Gaza, where Egypt continues flocking aid to Gaza Strip on Sunday through a secondary gate of the Rafah land port within the framework of the efforts to alleviate the suffering of the Palestinian in the Strip. The Egyptian Red Crescent announced the 68th aid convoy of Zaid al-Issa began entering into Gaza. The convoy included tons of trucks carrying food, medical relief aid to meet the need of the Palestinian people in Gaza Strip. And more than 69,000 Palestinians have been killed in the Israeli-Hamas war so far. Gaza Health the ministry said as both sides completed the latest exchange of bodies under the term of the tennis ceasefire. The latest jump in death occurred as more bodies are recovered in the devastated Gaza Strip since the ceasefire began on October 10th, and as the bodies are identified. The toll also includes the Palestinians that killed by strikes that Israel says the target remaining Palestinians. Israel on Saturday returned the remains of another 15 Palestinians to Gaza, according to the hospital officials. And Hamas armed wing said it would hand over today the remains of Israeli officer Lieutenant Hadar Golden, who was reportedly killed during the 2014 war in Gaza. The Israeli forensic experts are expected to determine the identity of the remains once they are received. The group said in a statement on its Telegram channel that Al-Izzuddin Al-Qassam Brigade will deliver the body of Officer Hadar Golden, which was found yesterday in a tunnel in the city of Rafah at 2 p.m. Gaza time. And if confirmed, the Golden would be the 24th deceased hostage whose remains Hamas has returned since the start of the current ceasefire on October 10th. Golden's body has been held in Gaza since his death was reported by the Israelis in 2014. Until now, Hamas had never acknowledged his death for the possession of the remains. Israel's media reported on Saturday that authorities had allowed Hamas and the Red Cross personnel to search in an area under Israeli control in Rafah to locate Galton's remains. And the Ukrainian strikes on energy infrastructure have left more than 20,000 people without power in several Russian border regions. Local authorities said that Belgorod governor said that the electricity and heating supply network has suffered severe damage in the regional capital of the same name. On Saturday, Russian attacks on energy infrastructure left Ukrainian scrambling to turn light and heating back, with the generating capacity at one of Ukraine's providers reduced to zero. The attack caused significant damage to Ukrainian power plants and resulted in at least 4 deaths. And now with Egypt's worst hit record high at the close on Sunday amid the strong purchases by local Arab and foreign investment funds and corporations. The market capital of listed companies reached nearly £3 trillion for the first time in history. The benchmark index EGX 30 hit record high, rising 1.9% above the 40,000 point mark. And the equal weighted indices EGX 70 and 100 climbed 0.54% and 0.81% respectively. And the major airlines braced for a third day of government mandate flight cuts today after rising air traffic control staffing. The shortages snapped thousands of flights. On Saturday, the Federal Aviation Administration instructed airlines to cut 4% of daily flights starting on Friday at 40 major airports because of air traffic control safety concerns. The shutdown, which has reached a record of 40 days, has led to shortages of air traffic controllers who, like other federal employees, have not been paid for weeks. More than 1,500 flights were cancelled and 6,700 flights were delayed. And as we speak now, the Qataris giants Al-Ahli and Al-Zamalek are clashing in the Egyptian Super Cup final in its 23rd edition, held at Mohammed bin Zayed Stadium in Abu Dhabi, the United Arab Emirates. And so far, the two teams are holding to a goalless draw. The Reds advanced to the final after beating Ceramica Cleopatra 2-1 in the semi-final, thanks to goals from Mohamed Hassan Trezeguet and the Slovenian striker Gradiscia. And the White Knights reached the Super Cup final after edging the Pyramids FC 5-4 on penalties. And to the Arsenal's 10-game winning one came to an end on the last gasp goal, gave the Sunderland a dramatic 2-0 draw against the Premier League leaders. The draw ended the Gunners' run of 8 consecutive clean sheets in all competitions, as Arsenal were within touching the distance of an 11th successive victory on all competitions. Arsenal now have the 26 points, with the London rivals Chelsea in second spot on 20 after they beat bottom side of the Wolverhampton Wanderers 3-0 in the league game, although the third place Manchester City can close the gap to 4 if they down champions Liverpool at home on Sunday. And by this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of our English News Bulletin. This is Sahar Talawi. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.